She's pretty cool, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's pretty awesome.
I left the hearts on there. I took them on my off.
I know, I thought about changing it and like changing it in my contact card, but I was like, you know what? I'm sure everybody will forgive me if I. Just share it with all that on there. Like, it is my mom after all, I'm pretty sure people will forgive me.
Is your dad around too?
Yeah. Yeah. My whole family, mom, dad, brother, and I moved here from together. With at the time, 3 horses, 5 dogs, and 2 cats. So,
How many horses do you have now?
we have 4 now. We unfortunately lost, my mom and I were kind of sharing a horse. And we lost it to hay fever. About a month where we moved.
What's it called?
Potomac hay fever.
Don't know that one. Is there a vaccine?
I think so, but it's one of those things that it's not super common in Montana.
Oh, he was in that one.
Yeah, we lost him before we moved, and. So it's like, yes, there's a vaccine, but it's like one of those that's like, if you're in an area that has a high. Then you get it type of a thing, if I remember correctly, but it's a super rare thing, especially in Montana. And it was. We assume, we don't actually know, but we assume. That he got it from the hay, because the hay that we were feeding at the time was baled down by the river. And not close enough to the river that we assumed that's where it came from, and he was the only one that.
He didn't spread it.
He didn't spread it, and he was the only one, I mean, they were all eating the same hay. And he was the only one that got sick, so. And they think, well, what they think happened is we were treating the Potomac hay fever, which was great. But then, like, how we were treating it led to. Just all that kind of stuff. He got stoked up and. I'm sorry. Yeah. It was hard, I was like. My mom and I were trading off, like every. Maybe like hour or 2 hours going out and walking him.
Oh, wow.
And so, it was night 3 of this. And I remember going to get him at like 2 o'clock in the morning to make him walk with me. And the butthead ran from me, like full on ran from me, he could not, there were only certain places he could have gone with where we had him pinned up. And he ran from me and I couldn't find it. Oh no. And with the flashlight, which means he ran from me. Yes. And so I was hyped, I was like, well, fuck me, you're gonna run from me, you're obviously feeling better, exactly. So sweet. And then went to work the next morning and my mom called me and was like, I'm on the way back to the vet, something's not right. And he ended up not making it, so, yeah, it was a sad moment for sure, he was a good horse, but. I was so excited. He's gonna run for me, that means that he is feeling good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so yeah, we're not down to, we were at 5. And then we had a horse that was, cribbing. Where they just grabbed the fence and just like chew, and he was like destroying our property, like just destroying it, so mom was like, I can't. Like, it's not worth it to have him keep destroying the property, because we couldn't keep cribbing collar on him, and. We thought maybe he had ulcers, and so we paid the ridiculous amount of money to get ulcer meds. And all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't helping, so mom was like, can't have a horse, it's gonna destroy our property. So we're down to 4 right now, but. They're great, and actually. Or no, only 2 of them were ones that were Montana horses, the other 2 we've gotten since we got here, so, yeah. Alright. Question 5, generating your leads. Do you guys know where to find the? You have the packet. If you need put people on YouTube. If you need the participants guide for any of this, you can find it on our website, kwcommonwealth.com. Agent resources, and then Ignite and 3612.3. If you scroll down just a little bit, there will be all of the participant guides for all of this. We have them spiral down here in the office, they are $35, that $35 covers the cost of the book itself. If you would like to get one of the books, we can charge it on your next office bill, any of those kinds of things, $35 for the spiral bound, just let. Me, Hallie, Jackie, anybody in the office know that you want one, and we can get you a spiral bound book, so. If you don't know me, my name is Lexi, I am the director of Agent Services and Technology for Keller Williams Commonwealth. And I'm going to be your instructor for these next 2 sessions today. And I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen, that would be super helpful to do. Alright, now we're ready. Now we're cruising, okay. Let's dive into it. So by the end of today's session, you will be able to, hopefully, if I do my job correctly, generate business from people you know and know you, identify your sphere of influence and calculate the potential income opportunity, categorize your sphere of influence and expand your reach, and apply best practices of lead generation. To start thinking about what you will learn today, let's consider what questions we might have and what we'd like to learn more about. So, knowing that today we're covering generate your leads, specifically your sphere of influence, people you know and people that they know, do you guys have any like, I really want to learn about this today?
Everything.
Jeff, anything specific?
Well, I got a lady that I worked with at FedEx and said that she wants to rent something. I said, "You want to buy?" She said, "No, we're rent." So I think she's in Lexington here, and not Georgetown, but I don't really fully understand how to set that up or how to access that. So.
Yeah, renting's a little different from the buy side, like obviously you guys can help with leases. But it's one of those things that has to be a certain type of lease for you to earn a commission on it. I guess my first question for her would be why renting? Is it she has a perception that she can't buy? Because of she doesn't think she'll qualify, all of those type of things, she doesn't have down payment. And if it's one of those things, then my suggestion is, well, would you be open to buying if I told you that there's a possibility that you could buy? And at that point, I would set her up with a lender like Danny Clayton, who can do a soft pull and tell her what she would qualify for, see if there's any first time homebuyer grants or anything like that that would cover down payment or anything along those lines. If it's one of those things where she's like, it's not about any of that, it's about the fact that I don't wanna have to deal with the fridge when it goes out, or the HVAC when it goes out, or you know what I mean, those common things that people are like, I rent because I don't wanna have to deal with this, I'd rather call a landlord and have them pay to fix everything than have to do it myself. Then it's a different conversation, right? Like, okay, well. Right, you can have the conversations about equity and homeownership and all of that kind of stuff, but some people just truly do not want to buy. So I would first get to why she would rather rent than buy. Because that might be a misconception that she can't buy. And then from there, if no, she really wants to rent, I would reach out to Bo and see how to navigate the rental leases side on the residential side, because I know nothing about it. I'm not your gal for that. So, okay, cool. So let's talk about what you already know about lead generation. My fear of failure was greater than my fear of lead generating. Let's begin today's discussion with mindset. This quote clarifies that lead generation is job number 1, even if there's fear around doing it. It's the activity along with lead follow-up, which is covered later, keeps us all from failing and instead allows us to prosper. You never stop lead generating for the rest of your career in business and real estate. Is your fear of failure greater than your fear of lead generating? Usually what people don't want to do is lead generate. Lead generation is job number 1. Leads fuel your business, helping you reach the goals you have set for yourself. The more leads you have, the more business and success you can have. Lead generation includes talking to people about buying or selling real estate daily. Capturing accurate contact information, this includes name, phone number, email, home address, and any other information a person is willing to give you. And converting leads to appointments. This is when you find active buyers and sellers, set an appointment to meet and agree to work together in buying or selling real estate. In the next several sessions, we'll learn a variety of methods to gain leads. This afternoon is gonna be social media and open houses. Emily Crump has built you guys an open house playbook. She is getting majority of her business through open houses. And on her last 4 listings has had both the listing and the buy side because of open houses, so she's gonna talk through all of that this afternoon. It is understandable that there's a lot of fear around lead generating, even though we all know it to be the most important aspect of our business. Let's be honest with ourselves, who is having any of these thoughts as we dig into lead generation? I think lead generation is really difficult. I don't have time to lead generate, I don't know what to say, I'm afraid of making mistakes. Probably as new agents, a lot of things.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, a lot of these, I know that. Most people who come into real estate come in with another job, some people don't, but most people come in with another job, so there's that. I don't have time, I've got to do all of these other things. Lead generation in and of itself, I think is daunting, just the thought of it. Don't know what to say, all of those kinds of things, so I think, there's a lot here. But guess what, these are all the exact fears that Gary Keller had when he started out in the business, and you can read about it in Shift on page 52. If you want Shift, the MREA, the One Thing, any of those books, we do have copies in the MCA office, we can do the same thing with Ignite, we can just charge your account. You can also get them on YouTube, I think most of them are probably out of Barnes and Noble, if you wanted a Barnes and Noble shopping day, they're on Amazon, all of those things. And this is what he discovered to erase his limited thinking. Jot these down in your participation guide if you want. So for the thought, I think lead generation is very difficult. His response was, I was confusing effort with enjoyment. Lead generation is actually easy, it's just not fun. However, you counter that to be that it can be fun. I'm going totally off script on this thought, but it's fine, it'll happen a lot. One of the things we learned at family reunion. Jason Abrams and Cody. Head of maps, all of a sudden his last name just slipped from my brain.
We'll go with that.
Cody, did a section called 20 lead gen hacks. And it was, first of all, it was hysterical, it was so funny, the two of those, the like best friends and just like, it was hysterical. But the common theme between all of them was. Somebody thinking lead generation is too difficult, I don't wanna do it, I don't lead generate. And instead finding something that they really enjoy and using that as their lead generation tactic. So we've got somebody in Cincinnati who loves housewarming parties, and that's what she's built her business on. That she uses that to lead generate on the other end of the transaction. We heard from a guy, or heard about a guy who really likes throwing parties. So he throws a neighborhood lawn party once a month. And he doesn't really invite anybody, he just puts on this huge thing in his front yard, cause he's got a good front yard. And people just stop in.
And you said once a month?
Yeah, once a month, and people just stop in.
What kind of party is it?
Just a lawn party.
Oh,
But what he has done is he has done a kid side and then adult side. And then he hires like nanny babysitter people to be in the kid side during the party, and then he's got the adult side, and so he's got stuff geared for the kids, like he does bounce houses and like. Face painting and all this kind of stuff for the kid side, and then the adult side is like the food, and he gets drinks and he does all these things, and it's just for anybody who wants to stop in. And naturally, all of the conversations, because what's one of the first things you usually ask people that you just met, what do you do for a living? Oh, well, I'm a realtor. Do you know anybody wants to, you know what I mean, like that's just naturally where the conversation goes, that's what he loves, that's what he does. There's another guy who, he and his wife had a margarita machine. And he had a friend ask if he could borrow the margarita machine for an event. And his wife said, honey, take your business card to the top of that margarita machine. so he did. And then it got returned and he got business from the margarita machine, and so on his next closing, he went and bought like 4 or 5 more margaritas, and he stuck his business card at the top of it.
Mhm.
And then it just grew, and now he's got, I think, like multiple storage units, or maybe even at this point a warehouse. And he's got everything, they've got popcorn machines, projector screens, 25-foot ladders, like the big huge ladders that you only need once in a blue moon and it doesn't make sense for you to go buy.
Yeah.
He has one, and when you need it, you just call him and say, hey, can I borrow the ladder? And you just go pick it up when you need it and drop it off when you're done.
So what you're saying is that I could talk to him and see if I could borrow one of his machines to do something to have a party or use.
Yeah, I mean, he's not here, he's in a different
No.
town, but yeah, I mean, he's just gotten all of these one-off things that you need once in a blue moon. And he's got them in a storage unit, and I think it got to the point, or is at the point where you have somebody that goes and sits out at the storage unit that he pays. On like Friday, Saturday, Sundays to like distribute and sign out all of these
And he
things.
doesn't charge for that.
And he doesn't charge for any of them.
Great.
But when everybody who uses this stuff needs a real estate agent, they know who the real estate agent is that helps them.
Oh, I said concrete.
Yeah. And so there's little things, like there's an agent who does dinner parties, what she loves doing is hosting dinner parties. So she invites a friend for a dinner party and asks them to invite a friend that she doesn't know to the dinner party.
Okay.
And where does conversation go in the middle of them? What do you do for a living? And she grows her business through dinner parties with her friends. Right, so I don't think lead generation has to be anything other than what you like to do. Like, find what you like to do, or what you want to like to do, and go do that, and invite people to do it with you. Or do it in a way that brings people into your sphere. Off sidetrack.
I got a good one for you. My wife is a massage therapist,
Mhm.
licensed massage therapist over in Georgetown. And business has been a little bit down, maybe the economy or other factors, but I was thinking about doing something like that. Maybe to get her, get her out there where people get a massage and whatever else we're gonna do. That would be a great way to.
Yeah, and something like that at like community events. Where you get the chairs, I don't know how expensive the chairs are. Where people sit in the chair and they're like face down, and you do like 15-minute massages or whatever. Like you could do that and have her branding everywhere right next to your branding. And while people are waiting for her to finish the next session, you just talk to them.
Yeah.
And where does most conversations usually go? What do you do? What is Jeff Bowman, you know what I mean?
What's going on here?
Like all those kinds of things, yeah, so I think you just gotta find what you like to do and do that. Like, that's not to say that there's not power in cold calling and door knocking and. You should be, once you have people in your database, you should have them all on smart plans and all of that kind of stuff, the other things, but. I think there's power in just doing what you love. And driving your business from it. I don't have time to lead generate. I had an issue of making time to lead generate and protecting that time. I don't know what to say. I had to get on the path of mastering the dialogue skills needed in this business, which I do think if you're gonna do one of these things. Where if you're just gonna let the conversation naturally flow to that, you still need the scripts to what happens when it. Falls into this type of conversation, what do I say? Like, what we don't want is having the conversation of, oh, I'm a real estate agent. Cool. Like, you have to know what to say next. And when somebody says, oh, well, I don't need a real estate agent, I can do it by myself, like, what do you say to that, right? So I still think scripts are important. I'm afraid of making mistakes. I found that lead generation is nothing more than a set of tasks and skills that are well documented. So. I think time on task over time was the simple secret to his success. Like, it's not necessarily about. Say, I'm gonna spend 6 hours a day on real estate, it's I'm gonna spend 2 hours a day on lead generating, and I'm actually going to spend 2 hours a day on lead generating, right? Lead generation is the #1 key to being successful in real estate. Doesn't matter how great you are at selling houses. If no one knows you're in the business of selling houses, and if they do not feel connected to you in a way that has them reach out when they are ready to sell, why are you in real estate? Oh. I've got great news though, You already have two key components to lead generation, a sphere of influence, also known as an SOI. If you haven't figured out already, we like our acronyms. And a database, so SOI stands for sphere of influence. It is the group of people you know and who know you. This is the group of people who know, like, and trust you, and therefore they are the people most likely to do business with you. And how do you access these people? Most likely your phone, maybe email, if you have people who are like, a texter or a caller, social media, like, it's just staying in contact with people who know and trust you.
I wanna
So,
set up a booth on the corner and give people like pieces of cake and stuff and.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have this really fun activity, it should be in your participant guide, if you just have a piece of paper, we're just gonna write this down. So this is an example, but I want you to get your phone out and we wanna do this with your contact list. So when you open your contacts on your phone,
Gotta be that, I turned it off to save power. so
okay,
everything-
is it an iPhone?
Samsung Galaxy.
Okay, I know, I only have lightning cables. When you get into your contacts, you're gonna scroll all the way bottom to the contact list and it should tell you how many contacts you have. You are gonna take that and you're gonna put that as your first number. On your paper.
Tells you when you, oh, yeah.
Yep, you scroll all the way down to the bottom. Everybody got that one?
Yes.
Are you still working on
It's
it?
gonna take you 20 minutes. For it to beat up.
We can always come back for you if you need to. According to the National Association of Realtors, the typical person moves every 8 years, and according to the 2020 census, the home ownership rate in the US is 64.8%. If we can assume that 64.8% of your database is a homeowner, and that they will move every 8 years, this means that about 8.1 or 0.081 of your database will buy, sell, or buy and sell their home every 8 years. So we're gonna use that number to figure out how many people you already know who are going to buy or sell this year. To do this, you're gonna multiply the number of contacts in your phone database by 0.081 and put that result on the next line. So if you had 250 contacts in your phone, the potential closing opportunity from the contact would be 250 times 0.081. And that would be 20. I'm assuming we're rounding up, because I'm assuming that's not an even number. We're gonna, oh, sorry, they want you to round down, not round up, so we can be conservative. Now let's go further, let's assume that all of the people in your SOI, 10% of them will refer a client to you this year. That seems doable, 10% of the people you know say, hey, I know somebody, or hey, I know an agent, you should call them. So on line C, so the next line, you're gonna multiply the number of contacts by 0.1. This is how many referrals you would get if just 10% of the people you know referred you business. So in our example here, that's 250 times 0.1, which is 25. So your total potential for sales this year is those two numbers added together. So in our example, 20 plus 25. Your total potential.
Wow.
Yep, and then you are gonna take, so let me read how this says it. Now let's take the number of home sales by those who know and trust and the people that they would refer to you by multiplying by the average commission here. So the average commission in our area is about $7,500, that is going up, but it's about $7,500. So you are gonna do 45 times, so in this example, they have their average commission is 500, so that'd be 45 times 5. For you guys, I would do this number, your total potential, by 7,500. In this area, the average home price, and then the average commission of the average home price is about 7,500. So that is your potential income opportunity this year from your sphere of influence, which is the people in your phone. Right? So when we talk about orientation and Command Kickstart about uploading your phone contacts into Command, this is why. Yeah, through the Command app, so if you download the KW Command app, it's the red one with the white KW. You sign into Command using your username and password, And then in the contacts, there's a way to import them. If you haven't done it yet and you want to, just grab me and I'll show you how to do it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What is the password to get into the,
Wi-Fi?
no, I'm sorry, I know I'm interrupting,
No, you're fine.
so I can see the slides that from the student perspective.
Oh, I don't know what the slide.
Agents, resources,
Oh, 958.
thank you,
Yeah, you're good.
there's so many new words.
Yeah. Let's see, would anybody wanna share what number they got? He's
Yeah.
probably still working through it.
114.
114?
I'm just going,
Yeah,
that's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
37.
yeah.
$855,000,
Yeah,
I'll make half of that.
and then, yeah, I mean, if you wanna take that, usually, right, and this is, I may be doing this math wrong, so don't like quote me on this. But usually it's like 10 to 12 transactions that would cap you, so let's see. Yeah, so if you take your number minus 12, which is conservative, right? It's a little bit higher than you would actually maybe need, right? That would be the number of those transactions that you would be paying your cap and your split on. Everything else would be 100% commission. So if you took. Let's just say you took 12 times whatever is, so of the 12, your GCI would be. $63,000. And so you take your contacts minus 12 times 7,500. Plus 63,000, that would be your GCI after capping. Just like a little, like, what would my actual take home be? And that's, again, that's just like assuming that all 12 of those are $7,500.
Say it again, so at 12 transactions for commission of 7,500.
You have theoretically. Yeah. Yeah, because we're saying, let's see. I'm like, once again, we're going off on a tangent that I probably should be going on, but it's fine. No, math is hard, it's fine. Yeah, because at the average home price of $250,000, which I think is technically probably low, that volume would be 3 million. You will cap on the classic plan at 2.1, I think. Or maybe that's when you cap on a royalty, it might be 2.3. It's 2 point something, so at the average home price of 250, getting the industry standard. For those of you on YouTube, I'm quoting, we cannot say that you are going to get 3% commission, but with the historical assumption of you guys need to negotiate this, I'm just saying this because this is getting put on Facebook. And you guys should know too, 3% is not the going rate, you have to negotiate it, but assuming it's been the historical industry average of commission is 3%. So 3% of that, at 12 transactions, you would actually have been capped probably already for a transaction or two, so. Again, this is like taking it like a step further that they didn't ask us to take, but it's just, no, it's great. So. Let's think about this, a device you already use daily has the potential to become a powerful tool for your business, alright? We've already covered how many people you have on your phone and how many potential sales they represent in the next year. Your contact list is your database. Your social media is another potential database. If we are going to be in relationship with our contacts in a professional sense, we need to have them organized and accessible in a smart database. Your phone may be smart, it is unlikely that your database is yet. Today we will touch a bit on feeding your database, in the next session we will cover how to make your database smart. You have an SOI, a database, and you've been generating leads from a database by communicating with it strategically. How have we already been lead generating in this class? What tool or system have we been using? You probably don't know that, because this is your guys' first Ignite session, right? Success systems was super thing. What are your ahas about being a lead generator for your business? How might you shift your mindset to overcome your fears about lead generation process? You guys have any ahas yet so far? By the way, another fun colorism. AHA stands for agents helping agents.
Oh, okay.
That's what AHA stands for. But it's also like, oh, I was an island. How do I get it? Okay, so it's like a double thing, but AHA stands for agents helping agents.
So I used to work at, before I worked here, I worked at the VA in healthcare. With an electronic medical record. You guys have as many acronyms.
I know it. My first job post college was with the state of Montana for the Montana SBDCs. And my first day, Spanish for Small Business Development Center,
Thanks.
my first day, I had somebody like gave me like a tour of, I worked for the Department of Commerce. And we had the little piece that we were a part of. And just in the like little section of the Department of Commerce that the SBDCs are a part of. I swear I had like a 10-minute conversation with our bureau chief. And she gave me so many acronyms, my head was spinning. Cause I literally have no idea what we're talking about, like you lost me after like the 5th acronym, I was kind of following you. And then I have no idea what we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
not a clue. Yeah, we like her.
That was the first part of orientation.
Yeah.
Meeting people at the VA, these are what these stand for.
Yeah,
This is how a group is organized.
yeah, and when I started, there was no glossary of acronyms,
We made
like
one.
you had to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah.
I think I might have made one by the end of it, but it was like, what would really be helpful is a piece of paper with all of these.
Yep.
That tell
Refer
me
that to.
what they are,
Yeah.
yeah, like what in the heck is a BSDF, like I don't understand, so. Alright. This is gonna be the downfall of me getting my KWU certificate, is I tangent so bad, okay.
What helpful to us newbies?
We gotta get ourselves positioned out there, okay, so here's
Yeah.
our comfort zone, and I just was watching some videos online. We came. And everybody's saying the same thing, I hate lead generation, I'm procrastinate, I'm afraid to fail, afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just thinking that we need to psych ourselves out, and I don't mean this, okay, how can I explain this? So. We can try to hype ourselves up to do things we don't wanna do.
Mhm.
But if we can make it fun, like you're talking about ways to make it fun. We position ourselves out here in this place that's not the comfort zone.
Mhm.
You know, it requires effort, it requires consistency.
Mhm.
But we get ourselves good, and I think for me, learning all the scripts and all just how the transactions work, okay, what do we do now, and what comes after that, and then how does this work? And just keep going through that until there's.
Yeah.
A new comfort zone over here, you know,
Yeah.
okay, all right, we got, we got hot water over here, now.
Yeah, which is why Ignite is such a great class, cause you're gonna do that, like you're gonna learn what's next, until we get to the what's next is go do it,
It's
right,
like
that's the
camping.
final session, so,
It's like camping.
yeah,
A lot of people don't like camping, but if you have the right equipment, it makes it really comfortable.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think the other part of it too, is we did that rising star panel at a team meeting a couple weeks ago. And every single one of them that's been having success. Joseph asked them a couple different questions, and one of the first questions was like, where are you getting your leads, like, where have you gotten your closings from, the closings that you have? And all 3 of them were different. But what I thought was funny was, one of them was like cold calling, like, she's got a sales background, she has no problem picking up the phone and just calling people. So she calls expireds and for sale by owners, and she loves it. And Emily was like, I do not like cold calling, absolutely hate it, you will not find me doing it. And then, can't remember what Emily said, but then Danielle was like, yeah, you won't find me doing that, I will call. You know what I mean? And so it was like, each thing that somebody is like, absolutely not, is where other people are finding business from. But they're like finding business other places too, but I think. And even in each one of their instances, the things that they said, I will not do that, each of them have done and have gotten business from it. Their comfort is just in somewhere else and they're finding business there, so they're staying more in that space than they are the others.
If we look
So-
at it like we're helping people, I
Mhm.
mean, that's a motivator right there.
Yep.
You know, we have our unique personality and we have skills and we have a desire to help. When I was the first time I ever bought a house was when I called up a realtor and I said, hey, I can't find a rental. And they started saying the same thing you're saying, well, you know, why do you want to rent and not buy? Have you ever considered buying it? And started, turning it over my
Yeah.
thoughts in my mind. And I'm like, well, I guess we should give it a try, you know? So I suddenly became safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot to leading with care. I think, so Joseph said in a career night a couple months ago that apparently just won somebody over. Can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, that's why I joined you guys. Can't remember who it was, or no, she's in school, and it was him saying that was like, okay, I'm gonna go over to classes, I get it now. He said, if you are in real estate and you are not in it for money, you are lying to yourself and you will not be in real estate for long. Because at the end of the day, you have bills that you need to pay, this is a career, at the end of the day, if we are not making money in real estate, then we are not doing real estate, right? But I think at the same time, and I think he's right, I think if you are truly in it to not for the money, then you will be in it long because you have to make money.
Well, that's the same with.
The end goal is to get somebody to buy a house and that.
Yes.
Therefore makes you money, right? So if we don't do it for money in some form or fashion, then we are just not doing real estate correctly. I also think that leading with care.
Yeah.
Is what will win you every single time.
Agreed.
And what I have found just in the last couple months is. We've had some crazy weather this year.
Yeah.
And after every storm that we have had this year, what I've done is I've put together a smart plan for the agents to put out into their database. And it has been a text message that, depending on the storm, right, this last one was all the flooding, so the text message literally says. How are you doing with all of this storm and the tornado warnings? I just wanted to check in on you and your family. Are you guys okay? That's
I
it.
got that, and it was amazing.
That's it. And that smart plan and the ones like that this year are what are getting agents business. Like so far, the agents that have started those smart plans in their database have gotten business from it. And if they haven't gotten direct business, they've gotten conversations with people that they haven't talked to. And that they otherwise wouldn't have talked to if they hadn't sent out a text message.
So go back. So you sent that to the agents, I'm sure, because I got one,
Mhm.
I got that text.
Well, the one that you got was me just checking in with you guys, it wasn't a smart plan, but it was.
So the smart plan is they would send something like that to their database.
Yeah, I mean, what I made is a smart plan with a text and an email, and the
Okay.
email was very much along the same lines, hey, I'm just checking in on you. But then the email I always add an extra line in the email, if you need any electricians. If you need any help from people because of the storm, let me know, I have a long list of vendors, right, so kind of putting in that call to action, like, hey, are you okay, plus. You had a tree fall on your garage, I've got people who will come help you, right, like that kind of stuff. With the snowstorms, pipes were bursting, so we put plumbers, do you need a plumber or an electrician, something happening with the storm, right?
Lots of those.
So I would add that little piece into the email. But the text message and the body of the email for the most part are literally just, are you okay?
Okay.
Do you need anything? And so I write up the text, I write up the email, I publish it into our smart plan library. So you guys can just go into the library, I show you how to get to it.
Yep.
I put a screenshot of what it looks like in the library, so people are like, know which one they're looking at. You guys hit download. Start it in your database, you can edit it if you want, some people do, some people don't, some people just start straight into their database, some people. Add something to it or change the wording of it, apparently I had a grammar error in the email this last time that I did this too, somebody was like, I fixed an issue. I was like, so glad you commented, I didn't.
I noticed you're having some trouble with your grammar of your emails. Did you
Oh, yeah.
get my help?
No, it's fine. Well, here's the other part of that is like. 100% perfect language every single time makes people suspicious. Like the grammatical errors and the misspellings makes people know that it's not a bot. So sometimes leaving a spelling mistake is fine because people are like, okay, she's human, right? Anyway, and then you guys download it, start it in your database, and then just let it go. And here's the key to this one is when people respond and say, yeah, I'm good, you respond, awesome, anything changes, let me know. Or anything like that, like you keep that conversation going, like if they're reaching out. And just do your best to keep it going, right? And then kind of like work it from there, so, what I have found just this year alone is the care is what's winning in people's database over the monthly neighborhood nurtures. And I'm not saying don't do the monthly neighborhood nurtures, they're powerful tools, do them. But what I'm finding is more people are responding to the care smart plans than they are to the lead generation smart plans. And I'm not saying there's not room for both, there is, and you should do both. I'm just saying that so far, leading with care has been far and above the best course of action, so. Alright. As you learned, Keller Williams has a model for everything, that's what we do. It makes sense that there would be a model for your number one job, lead generation. Though it may look complicated, it's one thing, relationships. You are in the relationship business. The more relationships you have, the more business you have. This model tells us how to get into relationship with people, stay in relationship with them, and be their real estate expert of choice to buy and sell real estate. So this is the visual of the lead generation model straight out of the MREA. All the things. The lead generation is simply getting people into your database so you can track your relationship with them. As you can see at the top of the model, there are two different activities that can bring leads into your business: prospecting and marketing. You can never have too many leads. A lot of leads or quantity of leads gives you good quality leads. It is a best practice to generate leads through a prospecting-based, marketing enhanced approach. Prospecting is proactive and direct. You are actively searching for leads. Prospecting, low cost to no cost methods, yields a quantity of leads, which in turn gives you quality leads. Establishes personal relationships, keeps you in direct contact with the market of the moment, and increases your confidence and skill. With marketing, you are putting your information out there to attract leads through sources like social media or print ads, radio ads, promotional materials, etc. We'll talk a bit more about this in some of our other sessions. So this should be a page in the book, you should be able to find this. And I think we'll talk about it in a second, but the MREA talks about people prospect and they get all of these leads, and so they stop prospecting. And what that does is that puts you behind the 8 ball, because yes, we've got 20 leads right now. Well, if we stop prospecting because we have 20 leads, what happens when our 20 leads are closed or don't buy or don't sell? Now we're right back to 0 and we have to make up all of that time to get back to the 20 leads. So what you should never stop doing in your database, in your business, is prospecting. You can scale back marketing, you can stop marketing, like you can stop paying for Facebook ads or don't do postcards this month or the next month, but you should never stop prospecting. Okay, hold on. Page 20. The market, your preferences, your budget, and your goals will usually dictate the types of lead generation you employ. Top agents track your most productive lead sources, which usually are sphere of influence, repeat business, referral, and offline advertising. No single approach or method will bring you all the leads you need to reach your goals. A blended approach works best. No matter your approach, you should always be offering some form of value in exchange for information. That information is what you need to continue the relationship. Also, though you won't rely on a single source for lead generation, you also aren't going to do all of them. The most productive agents focus on their 3 to 5 top producing lead sources. In Ignite, we are going to focus mainly on prospecting because we know successful lead generation is prospecting based. Prospecting is also less expensive, and prospecting is what protects your business when the market slows down. Even more specifically, we will focus on prospecting your SOI. As you gather people's information through prospecting or marketing, or have generated the lead, the next step is to put that information in your database. A database is simply a container that holds the information for all the leads you have generated. If you are looking for a cost-effective tool to build out your smart database, Keller Williams has you covered with Command. Command is more than a database. With this platform, you have access to interconnected tools to support you from lead to close, all while maintaining your relationship. A smart database provides you with the ability to have planned and meaningful communication with those in it, which keeps you in relationship. We can think of your smart database as a data bank because it generates money for you. There is nothing more valuable to your business than your data. I don't know why that word just feels weird, that big. Sounds weird. We use the terminology of leads and contacts to categorize people in our database. So far, in your success system time, we've communicated with your sphere of influence, or SOI, people you know and who know you. These people are contacts with whom you have implicit permission to have two-way conversations with. Leads are people who have shown interest in the service you offer and have provided a way for you to contact them. However, they have not yet engaged in a two-way conversation with you. Our database is organized into these two buckets, leads and contacts, because the way you communicate with each segment is unique. Something that skimmed over, and I just wanna touch on really quick, is implicit permission. So don't forget about TCPA, and all of the things that kind of go with TCPA, the Teleconsumer Protection Act, which is a reason to utilize Command. And utilizing Twilio within your Command. Twilio is the texting platform from within your Command. It is something you have to pay for, it's a monthly subscription. The lowest plan on Twilio is $3.17 a month. And then I think it goes up to like 5 and then 7 and then 14. The most expensive one is $150 a month. And that's the one that I'm on. You probably don't need to be on the most expensive one, it's like 18,000 credits, that's 10,000 people essentially being communicated with every single month. You probably don't need the most expensive one, you probably will be fine with the $15 a month one. If you've got a database of 400 or 500 people, that's probably a plan that you're gonna be solid with. I do highly suggest that you get Twilio, you pay for it, you get it connected. Because Twilio is a really great safeguard to TCPA.
So does it prevent you from?
So it's sort of, Twilio has, well, the first like 2 or 3 text messages that come out from Twilio, so like, if I haven't texted you from Twilio yet, the first message you get from Twilio is gonna have the reply stop to opt out.
Okay.
The second one is as well, and I think even the third one is, and then every text message after that's just gonna come through like a regular text message.
Okay.
But what that does is if somebody gets pissy and says, well, they sent me a text and I didn't, whatever, you can say, well, you have the ability to opt out on the first text message.
Okay.
And you were given implicit instructions on how to do so, right? It gives them the ability. Then they take it one step further, and if they do text stop to opt out, Twilio will not send them another text message. If they're on smart plans that have text messages, Command will notice that they have unsubscribed and it will just not send them a text message.
Okay.
So they won't get anything in the future. Same with the emails that come out of smart plans and all that kind of stuff, there's a little thing on the bottom that says, click here to unsubscribe. All of that.
So do we need to check every single one if my contacts to see if they're on the do not call list? Or do you trust?
So I think how that one works is at some point you were given their phone number from them, if it's your personal cell phone.
Yep.
So that is implicit permission for now,
Okay.
and continuing through Twilio and those things gives them the ability to opt out. So if something has changed between the day that they gave you their phone number and you sending that first text message, you have that.
Okay.
Depending on how many contacts you have and how close you are to people, I do suggest that when you first get your Twilio set up, you post on social media, maybe send out a text message to them if you have the ability to, and like if you have 1,000 people in your phone, this is probably not a thing to do. But if you've got like 150, I do actually suggest going through all of your contacts and sending them a text and being like, hey, you're about to get a text from my new business line, I promise it's me, it's not a spam number. Please save it in your phone or don't unsubscribe or something along those lines. Definitely suggest posting on Facebook, hey, everybody, I just got a new business line for my real estate business, here's what it is. Please don't unsubscribe, I promise I won't spam you, it's just my new business line and I'm really excited about this new real estate venture. Right, give them the thing, I had an agent who didn't do any of this, because this is what taught me that you should do that. Sent out a text from her thing and her mom unsubscribed, and she was so mad. Her mom, and her mom was like, I thought it was a spam text, and she was like, no, mother, it's me. We had to go find the words, because there are like 4 or 5 words that they can reply to the number to resubscribe. So I had to go find the different words that she could reply with so that she could resubscribe. It was the funniest thing ever, but we get so many spam messages these days that if anything you can do to kind of stave off that reaction, I highly suggest doing. So Twilio is great. The other reason to do the smart plans and that kind of stuff is the smart plans are time zone sensitive.
Oh,
So
that's great.
TCPA requires that you can only contact people between 8 AM and 8 PM. We have smart plans running and we have them connected to the right smart plan or the right time zone, which they should be. Nothing from a smart plan will go out before 8 AM or after 8 PM. So we can make sure that any communications that are happening at the right time. You can take it one step further in the smart plans, that first message in every smart plan. You can't do anything with it because if I start you on a smart plan right now, it's gonna go out right? If you don't want it to go out right now, you just wait to start it right now, right? And right now being within, and I think an hour for the emails, it's usually within 15 minutes for the text messages. But then everything farther down in the smart plans, we can tell it what time we want it to go out. Emails can go out between 4 and 8 AM, 8 and noon, noon and 4, 4 and 8, 8 and something, or I think it stops at 8 emails. Text messages, you have the option to schedule them between 8 and noon, noon and 4, 4 to 8. And that is just gonna depend on your database. If you have a database that works full time, like if you have, this is just a really specific example, but it's an example. If your entire database are bank tellers, you do not want anything going out between 8 and 4 PM.
No.
Because they don't have their phones on them and they will not reply.
Yeah.
We want those going out between 4 and 8 PM when they are most likely off work and able to respond. That being said. We have to be willing to reply between 4 and 8 PM. So if we are guarding our personal time with our family and we will not be replying between 4 and 8, then maybe text messages aren't the best way to do it. Maybe we need to change how we communicate with our database around that time, because what you don't want is somebody replying to an email being like, yeah, I would love to buy or sell, and you're not replying to them, right? So there's kind of a give and take there, is like whatever you decide to send out, they need to be willing to reply to it at that during that time frame.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, once you have a lead, you need to create a relationship with that person. For contacts, you want to sustain and strengthen your relationship. This is just an introduction to what sustaining relationships look like, since we have a full section of lead follow-up later in Ignite. Sustaining our relationship is what we see in the model as cultivating contacts to conversion. When we say conversion, we mean to move them from a lead or a contact to an appointment. Converting a lead or contact to an appointment means your client has the intent to buy or sell real estate. Each time you reach out to a person in your database, that communication is called a touch. A purposefully planned series of touches is called a campaign. A coordinated campaign of touches over time puts you front and center in people's minds when they think of real estate. These touches are how we nurture and strengthen our relationships. Having someone in your database doesn't make them your client. Reaching out to them consistently and systematically will, with value and deepening your relationship, will lead them to choose you to be your client. One way to consistently and systematically reach out to your database is through automated touches. Within Command, you have access to smart plans and opportunities. These tools provide you with the option to automate your emails, text messages, and you can set up notification to remind you to call your leads contact. The final piece of the model is the client and referral loop. Once the lead is converted to a contact, they can provide either new or repeat business, or they can provide referrals. This is referred to as a loop because regardless of the business they bring you or how long it takes them to bring you business, they continue to stay in your database. It is your job to continue to build and develop your relationship over time, so they are ready to transact again or provide additional referral business. As you nurture your leads and contacts and continue to lead generate for new sources of business, you will either be transacting from new, repeat, and or referral business. Most important thing to remember is that lead generation is something that never ends, should be time blocked daily for the best result, and determines the size of your business essentially. It is the how that you will help. Oh my gosh, it is the how that will help you reach the goals for starting this career. We're going to talk about time blocking in a second. You guys have any ahas? It's okay.
That's the Asian company. Okay, so, quick story. I like plants a lot. I've had plants for years, and when my daughter was real little, I had a banana plant. And she kept knocking it over. She liked it too, but she didn't have a share that, so she knocked it over and 2 or 3 times broke the stem on it. I thought, oh no, I have to go and buy a new one. Well, I found out right in the middle, you know how the leaves go like this? There's a little growing tip that comes up and forms new leaves. It's like lead generation.
Yeah.
But if you take that, even if it's broken, you can take that and repot it and form a whole new plant. That is the key of what we're doing. That's lead generation right there.
Yeah.
Without that.
You don't have to be the agent of their choice for like every single person in your database. Because I mean, here's what can happen. Sally can be getting all of your stuff and still pick Joe as their agent. What if Joe sucks? And you're still in contacts when they go to buy and sell that house that Joe just sold them, there's a chance that they pick you, right? And we don't have to have every single person in our database say yes to buying or selling today. It's not a no forever, it's just a no for right now. And what's important is that we keep in contact with them, so when it becomes a yes, they know who they're gonna contact. And it's funny how often, like just this year, since we've done those care text messages, people have replied with, I'm so glad you reached out, I've been meaning to call you. Right, and so sometimes it expedites those conversations, sometimes you're the first one in the door, because they may have been like. Should I call Debbie or should I call Jeff? Oh, well, Debbie just sent me a text, I'm just gonna reach out to her, right? Your sphere of influence are the people in your life that you influence and who influence you. These can be close relationships like your close friends and family, or more distant connections like your child's friends, parents, a former coworker, a neighbor, or a mom's friend from college. It's important to connect with your current SOI systematically, efficiently, and effectively. We are going to get into that a lot over the rest of the night. In order to get most out of follow-up, you want to get the most people in your sphere. Alright, this should be in your participants guide. Now let's expand your immediate relationships. One way to expand your SOI is to change how you think about the relationships around you. Let's look at these 15 categories and see if we can expand on the roles or relationships you have within each category. So we're going to go over the 15 categories quickly, and with an example or two in those that are less obvious. For example, number 9 is professional services, doctor, therapist, dog trainers. 10 financial legal services, yada yada. So immediate family, what falls into immediate, we're not gonna do all of these because I'm running just a little bit behind on how fast I should be going through this. So actually, let's just think about these, maybe on your own, go through. And immediate family, we're gonna flip this on its head. Here's what we're actually gonna do. Immediate family, I want you to write 3, 4, 5, maybe as many as you can think of names next to that. Don't have to be people who are interested in real estate, right? We're just creating our sphere of influence. So I want you to put the names of your immediate family member. Friends, relatives, neighbors, this is something maybe do tonight as your little take-home exercise. I want you to write as many people as you can think of that fall in each of these categories. Off the top of your head. And then I want you to go and make sure that they're in your database. If you haven't got them uploaded yet, make sure they're in your phone. If they're not, Facebook message them, email them, whatever we need to do to get their stuff. And then even if they are, we wanna make sure that for this moment in time, you have their name, phone number, and email. Bonus points if you can get their birthday or their address. Okay, that's your homework for today. As we think about these 15 categories, let's take 2 minutes, we're probably not, to quickly jot down some people, okay, so I skipped, that was the next exercise. I want you to think back on your day yesterday. We are going to take just a couple minutes to think back on it from the time you got up to the time you went to bed. When you woke up, what did you do? Call your mom, look at the news on your phone, check your email, wake your kids up, grab your workout clothes and go for a run. Take yourself through your day, just go through your day. Wake up, shower, send a couple emails, get in the car, drive, get coffee, run an errand to drop off your dry cleaning. Just take a minute to write down where you went and what you did.
Yesterday was horrible. I didn't wanna remember yesterday.
He's like, I am over it. Now I want you to look at your list and write down who you interacted with or spoke to during those moments. Who was the first person you interacted with? Did you have a conversation? What did you talk about? Who did you email? Who did you call or who called you? Who did you say hi to give an order to or smile at? Did you wave at your child's friend's mother at drop off? Did you smile at a barista before you took your order at a coffee shop? Did you say hi to your neighbor while walking your dog? Take a minute to go back through your day and jot down the people you interacted with. You don't need to know their names. You have identified the activities and people you interacted with yesterday. Now I want you to think about those interactions. Could you deepen your relationship with those people? Could you have smiled at the neighbor and politely said, you know, we see each other every day and I don't know your name. I'm insert your name. Of course you could. What about those you didn't interact with? Could you have smiled and said good morning to the barista rather than just ordering? Yes, you could. It's time to change the way you think about your days. You aren't just running errands, you're meeting potential buyers and sellers. You aren't just ordering coffee, you're creating a relationship with people who help you. And because of that relationship, you may be poised to help them the day they are ready to buy or sell real estate. Your job is to meet and connect with people. If you think about it, that's kind of amazing. One of the things we do in Bowl, is to talk to 100 people a week. Like, what would your week, what would your business, what would your database look like if you had 50 meaningful conversations a week? Where we got at least their name, if not more contact information. As you saw in the last exercise, sometimes all you need to do is think about things from a different angle and you can achieve more. You found more members of your sphere of influence simply by viewing them as categories of people you know. At KW, we have a coaching program called Bold that you will have the opportunity to experience with us in October. Bold stands for Business Objectives Life by Designs. One of the great things about Bold is that it helps you create a mindset of abundance and growth. Bold helps you shift your mindset using Bold laws. This is one of those laws. Change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. What you just did was with 15 categories was a simple example of changing how you look at things so the things you look at change. You changed how you look at those who know and were able to find more people by doing so. Being a successful agent is about finding more people to help and serve in buying and selling your home. When you change how you look at your world, you will find more of those people that you can help. Okay, that is that session. Let's dive into session 6. Okay. Anybody need a quick bathroom break or anything? Okay. Okay, cool. Now, we are learning more about your database and how it affects your real estate business. In the last session, you learned about lead generation. All the leads you gather must go somewhere to be stored and organized, and that somewhere is your database. Once your leads and contacts are captured in that container, your database, you can then leverage your database to cultivate relationships and generate new repeat and referral business. Before we begin, let's hear about problems, we're gonna skip the successes. By the end of this next session, you will be able to identify the key information you will need for each contact in your database. Determine categories / segments for the contacts in your database. Build your database by asking your sphere of influence for referrals. To start thinking about what you will learn today, let's consider what questions we have. Sorry, guys. I don't wanna know what you wanna learn today. Here. That's fine. Okay, your database is your business. Building up the number of names in it and a relationship with those names is really at the very core of what building a real estate business is all about. Gary Keller from the MREA. Have you ever thought about your database is your business? It's true, with no database, you have no business. And the number of names in your database and the relationships you build with your people will determine the success of your business. You'll learn today how you feed and care for your database. We'll turn it into a data bank from which you will be able to predictably draw business. Super duper. In the previous session, lead generation, you got the first taste of what a database is and talked about a few ways to add people to your database as you move through your day. Today, we will be going deep into how to bring you new, repeat, and referral business from your database. First, we will start with getting a look at the big picture of what a database is and why you should use one of those businesses. Or one of those devices. A database is a container that holds contact information for all your leads and contacts. We distinguish people differently based on the permission we have to connect with them. Leads are people who have expressed interest in a service or offering of yours from social media, other marketing platforms, your website, or word of mouth. You haven't established a relationship, yet you have the right to have a one-way conversation with them, and that is to respond and begin to build a relationship. Contacts are the people you have a relationship with. They know you, you know them, and you have their permission to engage in communication with them. The people who make up your sphere of influence are considered your contacts. These people are golden. Many top agents have very successful business working with their sphere of influence, and so you can too. This is why we focus on sphere in your success system. Your first task will be to fill your database with your sphere of influence. Sidetrack, this is a quick sidetrack. The playbooks we talked about, there's so many playbooks about SOI. Like how agents build their SOI, use their SOI, all that kind of stuff. So the playbooks are a great place to kind of talk about SOI. Alright. Your database is all about relationship management. The relationships you build and develop will grow your business through new, repeat, or referral business. Your database is key to your business and does a lot for you. 1, your database keeps you organized so you can run your business effectively and efficiently. 2, a database keeps a comprehensive record of communication and the relationship through systemized communication. 3, a database helps you automate other tasks. 4, a well-maintained database holds value and can be sold if you choose to retire or close the business. An organized and smart database sure beats a notepad if names or sticky notes or other non-automated systems. 1, 2, 3. Command is a database of names and contact information, like the contacts in your phone with a lot more information. A goal tracker, you enter goals for yourself for the month and year, and it will track your activities, conversion rates, and projected income. Task manager, we track all of the things you are committed to completing in lead generation and transaction management. Marketing suite of newsletters, postcards, and other mailers, presentations, and social media posts. And a referral network to connect with agents everywhere to give and receive referral clients, leads. Command is ever evolving too. This is a great time to remind you to take the on-demand series called Command Your Business to connect on Command. So if you're looking at your Command, if you go to Connect, you can search for Command Your Business. Super great class. And you can come to Command Kickstarter if you haven't already. Yay! Now you know why, the whys of using a database. Remember, your database is your business. Let's talk about how you will make this happen. The 4 laws to help your database and business thrive are: build a database, feed it every day, communicate in a systematic way, and service all leads as they come in. Okay. The first law is to build your database. You've already started doing this during Ignite through the phone calls you've been making, conversations you've been having, and other success system activities. And of course, we recommend Command as your database because it's available at no extra cost, it's powerful, and it's ever evolving. The first names you put in your database are your sphere of influence, the people you thought about in session 5, your family, friends, coworkers, people you encounter regularly. There is a basic set of information you should be gathering from each person at the most basic level each contact in your database should have. Name, contact information, which is phone and email, and address, and 3, past record of business with you, if any. There are several ways to add contacts to Command for the first time. You can go to answers.kw.com or search for Ignite Reference Guide. You can also do talk to me, it's fine. Allow for discussion if not mentioned, you may choose to add birthday. So, I mean, here's my suggestion for contacts. If all of your contacts in your database had these, you are light years ahead. Well, so here's the other thing, if you look at your contacts in Command, they're a little like progress bar. Once they're uploaded, and it'll tell you you've got like 64%, that's not 64%, but it'll like tell you how far you've gone. If you want to get it all the way up to being 100%, you need these things, you need their name. Phone. Email. They need a tag. So are they your SOI? If everybody in your phone is your SOI and you're importing it, when you import it, you can automatically add a tag that says SOI. Are they Georgetown, Lexington, River Gorge? Are they previous clients from a different business that you've had? Are they, like for me, are they jujitsu people? Are they horse people? Are they UK fans? Are they University of Louisville fans? Are they Morehead State fans? Like anything that separates them. And I personally think that 80 tags is better than 2. Because what happens when Morehead State wins a national championship? Wouldn't it be awesome if we could filter by Morehead State fans and send them a text message that says congratulations on a national championship? Like, you know what I mean? Like even like separating their work as a tag. What if something happens out at the Toyota plant? We can filter by Toyota workers, send them a quick text message that says, hey, I heard something happened at the plant today, hope everybody's okay, right? I really truly think the more tags the better, like whatever. Lead source, so talking about your phone, lead source would be SOI, your sphere of influence. Right, if they came from a Facebook ad, an open house, door knocking, cold calling, where did they come from? How did that person get put into your thing? Address, super important. Address allows us to do monthly neighborhood nurtures, send postcards, send birthday cards, send kind of anything we want. Work, there is actually, I know I just talked about it in tags, but there is actually a place to put their work. Including their position and all that kind of stuff. Stay-at-home mom is a work company and a work title. So like there's no reason for everybody not to have a work in here. And social media. Okay. Name for. Feel like I'm missing one. That's fine, it should get you, if you're 4% short, congrats, oh, that's what I'm missing, birthday, knew I was missing one. And birthday. Having their birthdays will allow you to put them on the birthday smart plan, which reminds you when their birthday is, and all of that kind of stuff, right? Social media, you just copy and paste their Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever social media they have a social media. There's part of some smart plans, like the birthday smart plan, that tells you to post on social media. So. If you have their Facebook and you know what it is and it's in their command. You can just, when it says post on social media, you can click the contact, scroll down, click the link, it'll take you straight to their Facebook wall. Happy birthday. So this is what gives you 100% contact, right? If there's the big ones that, in my personal opinion, if you had for every single contact in your database, you would absolutely 100% be crushing it. It would be these ones, like, to me, these 5 are almost non-negotiables. The other ones, you don't have them looking fine, right? But these are the ones that are like, in my head, non-negotiables you have to have. For those of you on YouTube that can't see that, name, phone number, email, address, and birthday. Are the ones that are essentially non-negotiables. Alright. Makes it easy to build your database, you have options. Enter contacts manually in either command or the command app. Sync contacts with command from third-party systems like Google Contacts or iCloud. Import contacts into command using command import template or import export template from other systems. So I should have just waited a second. Here's what you can, there's that contact health score that I kind of just drew on there. This contacts is at 68. They've got tags, name, phone number, email, lead source. And then they probably don't have an address because they don't have a neighborhood. And that's probably where they're at. So utilize command, it will be the best tool to help you grow your business. Check out command, your database on Connect for step-by-step instructions, or go to answers.kw.com and search Ignite reference guide. Okay. We are now on the feed your database page in the participant guide. What does feed your database mean? This law is about adding people to your database. Just as we discussed yesterday, or like 30 minutes ago. First, add all of the people you know, your sphere of influence, and the people you encounter regularly. You add your dentist, your children's teachers, your coworkers, and people you know from the neighborhood. The rest of your feed comes from what? Lead generating. In the previous session, you learned the difference between prospecting and marketing. You also explore different ways to prospect in your everyday life and through your sphere. Prospecting is actively seeking leads and building relationships through your conversations. Prospecting is cost effective and you are able to directly hear if and when a person is able, ready, and willing to do business. Marketing is a passive pathway for feeding your database. You're putting your information out in print or via social media, for example, and waiting for leads to seek you out. Building your database can be accomplished economically by asking everyone you know who they know and who might benefit from your services or may have an immediate real estate need. You learned earlier that many top agents run highly productive businesses based solely on their sphere. You see, your sphere is your source for new, repeat, and referral business. Remember, this was the client and referral loop of the database model. New business comes when someone in your sphere begins thinking about buying or selling and they think of you. Repeat business comes from clients you've helped in the past who were so pleased with the service and experience you provided that they ask for you again. Referral business comes from clients who have used you before or know of your stellar service and recommend you to people in their sphere. Who might your sphere refer to you? Neighbors, children or relatives, friends and coworkers. How do you ensure that your sphere will refer you? By asking for a referral, by explaining how to give you a referral, by sharing how important it is to you, by thanking them with words and even a gift for a referral. Your sphere generally wants to help you and you can easily feed your database with referrals from them. They have a saying that you treat the referrer better than the referee. So if I send you a referral, you treat me better than the person I sent you.
And what's it gonna be? What do you need?
Yeah.
You want-
Because you have behavior.
Yeah.
And so if I talk about, oh my gosh, I sent Jeff a referral. And he was so awesome about it and he kept me up to date and he sent me a card and oh my gosh, I want a card. I'm gonna send Jeff a referral too. Like, would you just reward the behavior? Alright. Turning to feature database, testimonials and reviews page in the participant guide, if you have it. It does want you guys to do an activity, it sounds like there's an activity on that page. We are gonna skip it, but what I want you to do is write down 5 names. That you will ask for a testimonial or review immediately after class. So this one's a trick for you guys. Well, actually, it's not. You can have people who have not. You guys are new agents, you guys don't have past clients, right? You can still have people give you Google business reviews or testimonials. It can just be to, I know that you are very kind-hearted and will do what's best for me, that's my review. Debbie will do what's best for you, she's the most kind-hearted person ever, right? I know this person is detail-oriented and will make sure that nothing falls through the cracks, right? So you can have people in your sphere give you a review even if they're not past clients yet. The important part about this is making sure that moving forward, every single client that you have gives you a review and a testimonial. My suggestion is Google. My second suggestion, if they don't have a Google, they don't feel comfortable doing Google, they can give you a Facebook review on your Facebook page. If they came through Realtor, Zillow, or they have a Realtor, Zillow, Homes.com, any of those kinds of things, they can do reviews on those. The last place I would send somebody for a testimonial or a review is your website. The reason being is I can take somebody's review of you on Homes.com and copy and paste it onto your website. I cannot take somebody that gave you a review on your website and go put it on Homes.com. Because they all verify things. Identities and all that kind of stuff to keep people from just going and putting like 500 of their own reviews on their site. So, last place I would send people is your website, but I would definitely pull referrals from other places onto your website.
Okay.
Highly favored. You get more benefits from them giving you a Google business review than it being on your website. You get more benefits from a Facebook review from it being on your website, and we can copy and paste it at one time. Okay. What do you do when someone writes a testimonial or review for you? You thank them. Express gratitude for helping to build your business. Remember to leverage any testimonial or review on social media, your agent site, or even as part of your pre-listing listing packet that you use on appointments. A lot of listing packets and that kind of stuff are gonna have a spot for testimonials and reviews. If you have them, fill them in. The third law is to communicate with your database. In the previous session, you learned about the importance of relationships in real estate, along with different ways to communicate with your database, called touches. Communicating with your database will be accomplished through those touches, and you will pair those with meaningful, relevant, and timely information. So shockingly, after feed your database, it is not water it. You don't want to water your database, okay? You want to communicate with it. Funny enough, when we do like MREA Kahoots and that kind of stuff, and they ask about the like 4 laws of the database thing. Inevitably, one of the wrong answers is always water it, and inevitably somebody always picks the answer that says water it. Ugh, so funny. To succeed at a high level in real estate sales, you must commit to frequent contact with the database with the intent of building close relationships. Forever while you're in business, we'll discuss the model and systems for doing this in the next segment. Lead follow. The way you communicate with your database will depend on whether it's with leads or contacts. And remember that in Ignite, we are focusing our attention on relationship building and strengthening with our contacts. Our sphere, those whom we have permission to have a 2-way conversation with. As you establish and build relationships, and learn more about a person's motives, dreams, interests, and goals. You will categorize or segment people into common interests so that everyone is receiving communication that matters to them. Information that is meaningful and feels personal is information that they're more likely to respond to. Then what we do, once we have our segments, we tag them. Yay. Look at your list you've just generated, or think of the list that you were generating in our case probably. Since people are more likely to respond when information you send and communicate directly impacts them, it's important to purposefully segment your database so that the target message appeals to them. Keep in mind that this is not set in stone. It is flexible and will change as your database and your relationships grow and develop. People may belong in multiple segments of your database, and that is perfectly acceptable. Potential additional segmentation could include and are not limited to client, past client, VIP, referral client, specific hobbies or interests like military/veteran, investors, property type, etc. These segments too can become tagged so that you can easily search a database to pull up past clients, VIPs, renters, etc. in order to communicate directly to them with information that brings value to their lives. So like VIPs could be the people that you invite to your Easter egg hunt event, right? Golf people could be people that you invite to a golf event or see something super fun happening in the golf world and you send them, hey, I thought this might be an event that you would be interested in, those type of things. Military, we tag them so that we send them a very personalized and specific, I believe, Veterans Day thing, so on and so forth. The messaging to the segment should be relevant to likes, dislikes, interests, or based on past interactions with you. Even though the words and topics of your messaging will change, there are some things that will remain consistent no matter what segment you are communicating with. Your messaging matches the motivation of that segment, uncovers if they are able, ready, and willing, and the time frame they are looking to do business, and includes a call to action. Elicits an immediate response, direct or indirect, tells the person receiving the message how to connect with you, and helps the clients to know why they would choose you to contact in the current market and what they get if they do. Your messaging needs a method, a way to be communicated. When communicating with your database, this will come from your targeted marketing, also known as your touch campaigns, which we will dig deep into in the lead follow-up segment. We'll dig deeper in upcoming sessions on both 19 to connect Ignite session 11 and 36 to convert Ignite sessions 12. Now let's brainstorm items of value. When you communicate, regardless of the message, segment, or touch, you always pair with communications of value. Some items of value might be like market statistics, seasonal prep checklists for homeowners, real estate forecasting data, scheduled local events and festivals. Set these touches up through Smart Plan and Command and use designs to create direct mail and social media campaigns to keep in touch. Some of these super fun value pieces are going to be super personal to you and the segments and that kind of thing. They'll go over the 19 to connect and 36 to convert. Keep in mind, we also have the 48 touch Smart Plan that I built out. That is 48 touches over 12 months. It's a monthly neighborhood nurture, which is the value of market insights. Birthday Smart Plan, which is the value of wishing somebody happy birthday, which I think is pretty awesome. The Promote My App Smart Plan, which is giving them the value of the KW app, which is when they want to see something, instead of risking them hitting contact agent on Zillow and going to a Zillow agent, they go to you. Pretty awesome. Direct line to you, you can see what they're saving, you can send them safe searches, all that kind of stuff. Quarterly call plan, which is keeping you in touch with them quarterly, and then a monthly text message, hey, how are you doing? And a monthly email of value, so we have DIY projects, common mistake homeowners make, how to upgrade your home to a smart home, like those type of value pieces. The Smart Plan that I built out, it's in the Smart Plan library, you can download it and start it on your stuff. These that KWRI has created are also very, very good. People choose to do business with you, and that's what we're after. You've essentially wasted your time lead generating and putting your contacts in your database because there's no guarantee that people will think of you when they have a real estate lead. In other words, your database will not be a database. And by the way, the most important communication you can make is a personal phone call. Each person in your database gets 4 calls a year, once a quarter. Make one of them a happy birthday call, which means you'll need to put your birthday in your database. So. Why it said you essentially waste your time is the question that I skipped before that. And what naturally happens when you build the database, consistently feed it and neglect the communicating part. You've essentially wasted. I should read things before I say things. The final law is to service all leads that come your way. This will come in the form of a strong lead follow-up program, which you will get into on day 10 of Ignite, so session 10. Since you'll be getting all the details then, today we will get you started with the basics. Your job is to build a community and serve the community. A database is not only a container of information, it's your business. Gary Keller thinks of it this way: my job is to connect with you, put you in a database, and be your realtor for life. He thinks of his database as a community that he serves. And he adds, the size of your community is determined by you. It is a great reminder that real estate is a relationship business. Servicing your leads is a big part of building your community. Why do you think it is important to provide service to all leads? The lead not followed up on becomes someone else's lead and source of business and income. Provide value in general and through your real estate knowledge by volunteering information and following through on what you say you'll do. It is important to service all leads so you can know the source. Knowing how the lead was generated will be important for calculating your return on investment for your prospecting and marketing methods. Track the relationship. You will use your database to track conversations, interactions, etc. related to all the transaction and relationship that helps you ensure your customers are serviced and converted into clients. Reward referrals. You will follow up with and reward the client who referred the new lead. Remember to reward the act of giving you the lead. Don't wait for closing. The reward will help encourage the behavior, allowing your database to feed itself. So they talk about reward receiving the referral, reward when the referral sets an appointment, reward when the referral goes under contract, and reward when the referral goes to close. Treat the referrer better than the referee. Command makes it easy to service all the people in your database with whatever the need is. You may follow up by adding more to the contact record, update your tasks, launch additional smart plans, manage your referrals, and design all sorts of marketing materials as well as your website. There's actually different ways to create a VIP program. One of the ways to create a VIP program is they have to be a referrer in order to get into the VIP. So your VIP program are all of the people in your world that are referred to business. Like that's one rural VIP program. I mean, there's other VIP programs, people who bought and sold with you, just in general, anybody who's bought and sold with you is a VIP. Anybody who's bought and sold with you more than once, anybody who's bought and sold and made a referral, like there's different ways to build up a VIP program, but that's one way to do it, and there's different ways to do VIP programs, there's tons of playbooks on different types of VIP programs. One of them is just to create a VIP Facebook page, and they get different insights, they get different giveaways, they get different events, they get different fun things, and everybody wants to become a part of the referral program. So. Again, there is help for this on Connect. Check out Command Your Transactions for step-by-step simple instructions, or go to answers.kw.com to research Ignite reference guide for specific directions on specific tasks. Servicing all your leads means tracking them from introduction to closing and beyond. Not yet, I need to go through the test next week, or the class next week. That. Interview cards, don't forget about interview cards, getting next gen, all those fun. Are you ready to turn your database into a database? Did you feel confident about building, feeding, communicating, and servicing your database? Now you do. Have the tools, or now you have the tools and systems to create your business database. Understand the value of your database and will commit to maximizing how you use it. Can continue to build and feed your database and begin to communicate with and service the people in your database. An important step to take now that you have the understanding and the tools, if you haven't already, is to begin to build and feed your database, your business database. Take action on this today. Go to answers.kw.com and search for the reference guide and see how to sync your contacts. Don't get discouraged if your database is not immediately yielding the results you expect. But remember, don't quit too soon. Sometimes it can take 2 to 3 years to see a significant return. Eventually, your database will start to reward you. It can take over a year of contacting people using the 36 touch campaign to see consistent results. It is not immediate. Think in a mindset of long term. National Association of Realtors tells us that currently people are moving every 7 to 10 years. Come from care. The real estate business is also the relationship business. People do business with people they know, like, and trust, and it can take time to establish all three, especially with a new leader. Alright, that is it, because the next part of this is the success systems, which we don't do, so, fun thing. So, any ahas, I've read all our learning section and transition for our success system with modeling. Let's do a quick review and capture ahas. The big picture, build your database, feed your database, communicate with your database, and service your database. How is your mindset now? What are your questions and concerns, if any, and what are your ahas for today? I'll put this back. Anything?
I was just thinking about time that I worked for at a Cadillac dealership in Chicago, and I was an assistant to the owner of the company. But what they would do is they were taking care of all the owners' wealthy friends. And so these people never came to the showroom. We go to their house and show them a book with all their car colors and features. You know, this is days before internet really got big. And all that, but what I liked about what he did was he never was pushy, he was never a hard sell. He was actually in a role where he was caring about what they wanted. Okay, what do you want? What do you like? What are your needs? Well, I don't think that's a good car for you because of your disability or whatever. And it was just real. It wasn't, like I said, not high pressure. I care about you. I'm not gonna sell you something you can't use or don't want or don't need. And I had a whole different understanding of sales at that point.
Yeah. I mean, we've got so many tools in command that can help you do different things. Like, what if we know that a friend is in their lifelong home unless a specific property comes on the market and then they move in a heartbeat? Doesn't matter what the listing price is, that's their home and they would jump on it in a heartbeat. Or they're happy where they're at, they don't wanna pull their kids from school unless a house on a specific road or in a specific neighborhood goes on the market, and then they would be the first person to make an offer. When we have the tools in command to set that up to do it for you automatically, like you don't have to sit there and search every day for these criteria, you can just create these safe searches for people in specific areas. You can like zoom in on a map and draw around the street and say if that street ever, anything on that street ever comes up for sale, this person wants to know about it. And so I think I mean, I think I said this at the beginning and it kind of solidified it for it on the last thing is like lead with care and the rest will follow. And if everything we do comes from a spot of we know you, we care about you, we love you, then the rest of it just kind of fall in line after that. The money will fall in line after it too, I think. Which is important. I mean, at the end of the day, if we're not making money, some of us can't do this job, right? If we're not making money, we are going to have to go find a job elsewhere. So it needs to be a focal point, in everything that we do, but. Yeah, that's just the world we live in.
We used to say there's no mission without money.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the other Kellerism things is money is good for the good that it can do, right? The last piece of the MREA is to give 1 million. Think 1 million, earn 1 million, net 1 million, give 1 million. So we think 1 million, we set up our business, we do all of the things on the model. As if we are millionaire agents, then we earn 1 million. And then we set up our business to the point where we don't earn 1 million, we net 1 million. And then we get to the point in our business where everybody else is doing it for us, we're not actually running the business, and yet we are still netting $1 million. And then the last point is to get to a point where we are giving $1 million. We are donating, we are giving our time, we are giving $1 million worth of whatever it is that we're doing. And it doesn't affect our livelihood because we've gotten to a point where we've done that. And while that's a big dream and most people will not reach that, that's the mindset that we hold. And even if it's not right now, 1 million, we're giving, you know, $100 a month, $500 a year, whatever it is, we're giving it somewhere. Or we're not giving money at all, we're coming to Red Day and spending the day volunteering, right? So. Alright, that is all I got for you, so if you didn't pack your lunch and you wanna run out and get lunch or just go. Run an errand or something, that is the nice part about this whole,
Yeah.
you can kind of run all of the errands that you want.
Is that,
Yeah,
okay,
and then Emily will be back at 1,
thank you.
and this computer is frozen.